Bears versus Packers part 2 is coming up this week, and there are major injuries to discuss. And I think one injury that absolutely changes everything, not only for this matchup, but for the NFC as a whole. We'll get into that coming up, but you guys know what to do. If you want the Bears to get revenge on the Packers, get the FGB chants going down in the comment section below. Want to see it all week long? Let's dive in here on Chicago Bears Now. Happy Monday, everybody. My name is Harrison Graham. We'll dive into the latest injury news surrounding both of these teams, how it impacts this matchup and the NFC. Plus, we'll take a look at some playoff stuff. We'll do a larger video on that later in the week, but want to kind of get the basics out of the way here. But Micah Parsons, we do not have an official diagnosis as we're filming this at 10:30 Central Time on Monday morning, but they are fearing, the Packers, that he tore his ACL, should have an official diagnosis in the near future. If that is the case, and he has torn his ACL, that not only impacts this game, this season, it impacts, quite frankly, the Super Bowl picture, right? Which teams can win the Super Bowl. I think it is pretty difficult for Green Bay to sit there and feel like they have a great chance to make a run to the Super Bowl if they do not have number one. He is just such a disruptive player. Even the last 2 weeks when he hasn't had a sack. I mean, you guys watched the Bears-Packers game last week. How many plays is he impacting? It feels like every other play he's on the field, he's having a major impact in blowing up certain plays. You have to game plan around him significantly. He's just a very difficult player to go up against. There's a reason Green Bay traded 2 first-round picks and gave him $47 million per year, because they felt like he could be their closer. They felt like he could turn a good defense into an elite defense and make them a Super Bowl contender. I don't think they can win a Super Bowl without Micah Parsons. Now, the longer this goes on, maybe they get lucky and it's not a torn ACL, but sounds like it's trending in that direction. Again, we'll, of course, monitor that situation. We'll be live this afternoon. We should have something before then. But I will say this. It's kind of interesting that the Chiefs got Patrick Mahomes in the MRI room very quickly and confirmed a torn ACL. As of now, we don't have that on Micah, so maybe the Packers are getting a second opinion, or it's not as bad as they thought. But if it's a torn ACL, good luck. I think that's going to be major, major trouble for Green Bay, big picture, regardless of what happens this Saturday. Now, Christian Watson, who also left the game and went to the hospital, has avoided major injury per multiple reports. Ian Rappaport having that earlier this morning. One of Green Bay's most explosive weapons. The offense thrives when he's out in the field, yada, yada, yada. And he's right. Christian Watson has been a big play machine since he's returned this season. I think the last 5 or 6 weeks in particular, he's been very good. We saw firsthand against the Bears how he can change a game. And just hit some explosives. I mean, he's averaging 17 yards a catch. He's been Jordan Love's top target by far since he's returned from injury. Rob Demovsky, the ESPN Packers reporter, says no issue with his lungs, so that's good news for Watson. Did go to the hospital, but flew back with the team. Does not have a long-term injury. His status for Saturday's game against the Bears will be determined later in the week. So not only did he avoid major injury, there's a chance he plays on Saturday night. And for Green Bay, that's pretty big, right? Because Jordan Love, who had a great first half against the Broncos yesterday, did not play as well in the second half, especially after Christian Watson got hurt. He just did not look as comfortable. Tucker Kraft's already out for the season, so you factor him being out, Christian Watson being out. All of a sudden, you look around, it's like, okay, Josh Jacobs, a really good running back, but decent receivers. You know, if Watson were to miss time, they would really need Matthew Golden to step up. Obviously need Jaden Reed to keep making plays. I thought he made a few nice plays against the Bears a couple weeks ago, but sounds like they dodged a bullet there, even if he can't play on Saturday, even though the Micah injury is obviously a much bigger deal. Okay, Matt LaFleur also said this with Zach Tom and Evan Williams leaving yesterday's game for Green Bay, 2 impactful starters, Tom, the offensive lineman, and Evan Williams, one of their starting safeties. He says, I don't have any updates on how long that's going to be. Long term, I think we're going to be all right, but whether that's a week or 2 or 3, I couldn't tell you. Well, remember, short week, Saturday night, Zach Tom, Evan Williams, based on that quote, at least the initial reaction from LaFleur, yeah, they're probably going to be ready if they make the playoffs, but to play in 5 days, that could be a long shot. So, again, that's the Bears kind of catching a break there if they can avoid playing a couple of key starters for Green Bay. So, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we're keeping major eyeballs on the Micah Parsons situation. Clearly, he's not going to play this week, but it certainly sounds like there's a greater chance than not that his season's over, and I will continue to monitor my phone as we are on this video to make sure I don't miss an update. All right, more to discuss, but first, help us out, man. FGB's in the chat, but also we got to take down the Packers report again. You guys showed up a couple weeks ago. If you've not already subscribed to this channel, hit the subscribe button. We're cranking out daily content, the latest Bears news, injury updates, key matchups in this game. Huge opportunity ahead for the Bears to take control of the division with 2 weeks to go. If the Bears win on Sunday, they're in a very good position to win the NFC North. So sub for Bears Dubs. Let's get revenge. We got content all week long, including our live show this afternoon around 4 o'clock Central Time. All right, coming up, we'll get to some Bears injury news, plus an updated look at the playoff picture now that Sunday's action is fully in the books. But I do got to tell you guys about our awesome sponsor first. That is PrizePicks. It is the holiday season, the best time of year for sports. Bowl games, basketball matchups, playoff pushes. It's all happening at once. And while you and I are out here making decisions every day, what gifts to buy, what to eat, which game to watch, there is one place where it feels good to be right. That is PrizePicks. New feature alert. PrizePicks now has early payouts. If your lineup gets off to a hot start, you may now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. I hit a nice little 3-player lineup yesterday with Caleb Williams, Shedeur Sanders, and DJ Moore all connecting on the stats. I took Moore on for those 3 players. I'm back on the saddle tonight. Little Monday action for you guys. I'll take Moore, Aaron Rodgers, demon pick. Just one scramble, Aaron. Don't burn me. You've burned me too many times in my life. But let's get a little 2-yard scramble early on. Demon pick there to increase the payout. Kind of evens out with the Goblin play with Tua. I like him to throw at least 1 touchdown. And then I'll take more on Devon Achane to score as well. Rushing or receiving, doesn't matter. $20 lineup to win $65. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use our code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 in the lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Okay, Rome Odunze aggravated his foot injury in warmups yesterday. Haven't really heard anything since. We don't have a new kind of timeline or anything like that. My gut tells me he's probably out this week. Short week. He was limited all last week. If he kind of re-aggravated it there, I doubt he's going to have a quick turnaround play this week. But you never know. Ben will talk to the media today. Hopefully we'll hear something new. I will say this. Dr. David Chow, who I think is the best in the game in terms of like Twitter doctors identifying injuries. He worked in the NFL for a long time as a team doctor for the Chargers. He said that he won't fully be over this injury until surgery in the offseason. That stress fracture, he said eventually it's going to take a procedure. Now, clearly, Rome's trying to push through. The Bears think, I guess their medical staff has approved to try and play through it. Now, did that change after yesterday? I don't know. I think one thing is pretty clear. He will not be 100% or probably even close, even if he is able to play. And I think we've seen that, right? I went back and looked at, okay, when did Rome first pop on the injury report? And it was after that Ravens game when he went for over 100 yards. Well, since then, look what he's done. 7 weeks, 5 games since he first popped on the injury report. Only 13 catches on 34 targets. Now, some of that's just, missed throws, miscommunication, etc. But still, 188 yards, just 1 touchdown. Average is a little bit down as well. Whereas the first 7 games, much more productive, right? And especially those first 4 games or so. I think it's pretty obvious he's been playing through something for a while. That foot hasn't been right. The routes haven't been as crisp. I think sometimes over the course of a season, you kind of figure things out. You're like, why is this not working? It's like, well, he's hurt. He's just not healthy. And, if he can play, you still want him out there. I would take Rome Odunze at 80% over, Devin Duvernay, although he's made a couple of plays. But I don't think you can bank on him being a guy that you can target 10, 12 times a game. If he can make a play here and there, that's great. But he's probably going to have a procedure in the offseason and hopefully get fully healthy for next year. Now, do you guys think he'll play again this season? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I'm hoping so. I don't think he'll play this week. That would be my guess. The good news is other guys are starting to emerge, including this guy. Now, he also left with an ankle injury yesterday. I'm hoping that was more of a cautious deal. It was cold. You get tackled hard. It's kind of like, okay, let's just hold him out. If Burden were to seriously be injured too, then you'd have some problems because then it's like DJ Moore, Olamide Zaccheaus, and your tight ends. I mean, Duvernay would be having to play a lot. You'd probably have to go sign somebody or elevate someone off the practice squad. So fingers crossed on Burden. That didn't seem too serious. But, when it's cold this time of year, those injuries that seem minor can be a little bit more significant. So we'll obviously keep an eye on him as well. In positive news, Tremaine Edmunds is eligible to return off of short-term IR. Now, I don't know where he's at. I don't know if he's ready to do that. But if they want to, they can open his practice window this week, and he could conceivably play on Saturday. Now, would he do that short week? I don't know. If he would, it would probably be on a pitch count. But I still think that would be worthwhile, and I think that would actually be kind of ideal because DeMarco Jackson's been playing well anyway. So, you get Edmunds in there for 20, 25 snaps, and hopefully, by week 18 and, into the playoffs, if you clinch a spot, then he's full throttle and ready to go because when the few games he and TJ Edwards played together, I thought they were fantastic. And by the way, TJ, third game back, I think, yesterday, I thought was easily his best he's looked since he's been back from his injury. But Tremaine Edmunds this year was having his best year as a Bear before he went down. So if they could get him back, I mean, that's a major lift for this defense because, look, we kind of know that the front four is not going to generate a ton of pressure, but the secondary makes a lot of plays in the football. If Tremaine and TJ are out there, you feel really good about that duo. That back seven can make a lot of plays for you if the D-line can just be decent. So if Tremaine can be out there, that would obviously provide a major lift. All right, here is where things sit in the playoff picture. Heading into Monday Night Football, who do we got? Steelers, Dolphins tonight, so that's not going to change anything in the NFC, obviously. 3 weeks to go, and it's pretty simple for the Bears. Now, we'll kind of dive into a bunch of different scenarios as we go, but if the Bears were to beat the Packers this week, they're a game and a half up in the division with 2 weeks to go. They got a half game on Green Bay right now. They win next week, they'd be 11-4. Green Bay would be 9-5-1. So your magic number would be 1 to clinch the division with 2 weeks to go. You win in San Francisco. I mean, you'd probably still play Week 18, your starters against the Lions, because the number 1 seed would still be in play, conceivably. But you could clinch the NFC North if you win the next 2 weeks. And you can clinch a playoff berth this week if you win and the Lions lose or tied to the Steelers. So we're big Aaron Rodgers and Steelers fans next week. The Lions losing yesterday was huge because the Bears' path to clinching a playoff berth got closer and closer yesterday. So, again, we'll have a full kind of video, break down some different scenarios, maybe on today's live show, but if not, later in the week. So be on the lookout for that. But we will be live on the channel later today. Hopefully some more clarity on some of these injuries when it comes to these Bears and Packers players. Also, it's tough day in the NFL yesterday. Devontae Adams goes down. Mahomes, a lot of injuries in the league, so not great for the league as a whole. But for the Bears, it's one of those years, man. Like if you can just you get healthy at the right time, you're playing good ball at the right time. Who knows? Why not the Bears? Why can't they make a run? Hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Let's win that sub battle over the Packers report. We'll see you guys this afternoon. Bear down.